Hey, you know those toys and kids' meals? Man, those things are pure evil, aren't they? I mean, those toys are the reason kids are unhealthy these days. And that's exactly what one California county would have you believe. So you know what? No more toys for you kids. You have the right to vote in this country, but if your city made you vote, is that right? And if you thought your health care battle was nasty, look at what happened in the Ukraine. They threw eggs at the Speaker of the House. What do you see what else they did? All the stories people are talking about and the eggs politicians can throw right now on The Filter. Hello again on The Filter Forefront, our top four of the day, including with the real journalist. Please stand up. But we'll begin with this. Santa Clara County in Northern California has voted to ban toys from any kids' meal at any fast food restaurant that has more than 486 calories, more than 600 milligrams of salt, or if it's high in any sugar or fat. Why this bit of brilliance? Because kids' meals are unhealthy and our kids are overweight. Ban the toys and kids won't eat fast food. How about this? Parents, if you don't want your 5-year-old to eat a Happy Meal, don't take them to McDonald's. It's not like they're going to drive there themselves. Our contributors tonight, Megan Barth from RedCounty.com and Doctor of Social Ethics, Charlotte Laws. Our pictures are furnished by Skype. Charlotte, I'm going to start with you. Whose responsibility is it for overweight kids? Parents or the restaurants that put a toy in the hamburger bag?
Well, I definitely don't think it's the restaurant's responsibility. I think it's difficult when you're a parent because kids are influenced by their peers, and so it's very hard to set those ground rules. But I think that this whole campaign is absurd. It would be quite ineffective. It's like using a tablespoon to clean up an oil spill. It unfairly targets fast food restaurants when there are many other restaurants out there that have unhealthful food. It's like nanny state gone wild. It's teaching kids something about government control over personal behavior. And what I would prefer to see is I'd like to see us take away those subsidies to the meat and dairy industry that the taxpayers are paying for. Because what happens when you go into a grocery store, the fruit and vegetables seem comparatively expensive because they aren't subsidized like meat and dairy are. So if you're going to subsidize, I'd rather see the vegetables and fruits being subsidized.
All right, so Megan, what's the deal here? If somebody's child is overweight, who do we blame? The parents for allowing them to get that way, or the restaurants that put the toys in the bags?
Well, of course, it's the parents' responsibility to raise their children, hopefully in a healthy environment and a healthy lifestyle. What's going to be banned next? Cracker Jack? Are we going to remove Cracker Jack from the shelves of the grocery store? The city council's job is to run the city, not run people's lives, and not teach parents how to parent. If the parents need help parenting, there's plenty of classes, I'm sure, provided by the city or neighboring counties that will help them teach them how to responsibly parent.
You know what? You know what? Let me just say this. If parents need help parenting, you don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to look at your kid and say, you're overweight. You don't need any kind of counseling to realize your child's overweight, and what are you going to do? Feed them 32 Happy Meals and a bag of chips, or fix it? It's on the parents.
Well, absolutely. And by imposing a law, by the city council overstepping their bounds and imposing a law that's punishing McDonald's for Happy Meals and punishing the kids because they can't get a toy in a Happy Meal, it's ludicrous. I mean, I've bought Happy Meals before, and I've put on 15 pounds before, and it wasn't because I was eating Happy Meals every day. It was because I was eating for 2 and I wasn't pregnant and I didn't exercise. So it comes down to personal responsibility.
It really does, because I'll tell you what, the only way kids are really going to put on weight at McDonald's from the toys is if they eat the toys. Okay, let's move on. Time for another round of Boycott Arizona. Congressman Joe Baca from San Bernardino says he's boycotting Arizona. Don't travel there. Don't buy anything made in Arizona. A noble idea, Congressman, but isn't it true that your state, this state, is a mess? Should you really be telling someone else how to handle their business? And there's more. L.A. Councilwoman Janice Hahn wants the council to pass a resolution boycotting Arizona. She wants L.A. residents to stop traveling to Arizona, and she wants Los Angeles to cut business ties with the state. Any contracts we have with Arizona, she wants them cut. The city of Los Angeles is $485 million in debt. Some have called for the city to file bankruptcy. Given the state of our state and our city, do you think our elected officials should be telling anyone else how to run their state, Megan?
Absolutely not. Perhaps Janice Hahn needs to pass a resolution on how to balance a budget. That would probably be my first priority if I was in her seat. I wouldn't be worrying about Arizona. If I was Gavin Newsom, who called for a boycott on San Francisco, again, clean up your own backyard. Take care of your own citizens and don't worry about what Arizona is doing. Arizona has every right to write and legislate laws and enact laws if the federal government has failed their duties, which they have. The law that Arizona has passed was supported by 70% of their residents, and it was enacted and passed because the federal government failed to do their job. The legislation reads nearly verbatim of the current federal law that exists. It was written very clearly and crafted very carefully, so it would maintain constitutional challenges. So Janice Hahn really needs to look in her own backyard, clean up the financial mess and the crime that exists in LA City and the corruption that exists in LA City, and the same needs to be said for other states. If these contracts that we have with Arizona are reciprocal, what is that going to do to the revenue that's coming in from these reciprocal contracts? She's out of line. She's out of bounds. Leave Arizona alone and clean up your own backyard.
Charlotte, from where I'm sitting, it's posturing. It's political posturing. Or do you agree with her?
Well, it could be political posturing. It sure seems like that. But I think that Janice Hahn has not looked at the long-term ramifications because we have people hurting here. And today I was watching the LA City Council discussing the LA DWP rate hike, which is going to go up 5% in about a month. And we, for example, Los Angeles has a contract with a coal factory, a coal plant in Arizona, which we have until the year 2019. And actually, when we get electricity from Arizona, it actually costs us less than some of the other plants, such as in Utah. So what could happen if we cut off these ties is that we will then have our rates, our DWP rates will increase further, and the taxpayers will hurt even more. So I do think it's a very bad idea, and I very much support what Arizona has done.
You know, whether you agree or disagree with the posture Arizona has taken, I will tell you this. If I was the state of Arizona, with all due respect, I would say to Gavin Newsom and I would say to Janice Hahn, do yourself a favor and mind your own business. You've got bigger problems to deal with in your own state. Let's move on.